Hello, friends. Today's topic is underpaid. Are you? Because I am. Let's rant.
The person at work that's always the go-to person when people have questions, the person that's always the go-to when they have a new hire that needs to be trained appropriately, this person is usually almost always underappreciated and underpaid. And most of the time, this is the person that's been doing the role for a long time. They've been with the company for years, okay? That's why they know this role so well. And usually the company doesn't want to pay them more because the role only pays so much, right? A lot of times this is the person that doesn't want to be promoted. They like what they do. They just want to do their work. They want to go home. They don't want the extra responsibility. They don't want to manage people. They're just okay with what they do. But they're always underpaid because they're not willing to pay extra for this person's experience, okay? Maybe they started off with a certain amount of experience, but over the years they've gained so much. And yeah, they might give this person their yearly merits or quarterly raises or whatever, but it's never really worth how much this person's experience is worth. And a lot of times this person will eventually get fed up and end up realizing, you know what, I'm worth a lot more than what I'm getting paid. And then they end up leaving. And then the company is trying to offer them more money when it's last minute. But it's like, why not appreciate these employees while they're there?
I love my work ethic, but I'm so sick and fucking tired of every single employer I've ever had pushing me 10 times harder than anybody else. I have coworkers that sit on their ass and do nothing and get paid for it. And yet I'm busting my ass all day, and my employers, my bosses, my managers are always so much harder on me than anybody else. So I told my boss today, I said, I don't understand why you're so much harder on me than anybody else here. And he's like, Lauren, you want to know why I'm so much harder on you than anybody else here? And I was like, is it because I'm more than capable of doing my job and you want to see me do well? And he's like, yeah, exactly. I want to see you succeed. I'm trying to set you up for success. And I know that you can do it, so I push you harder. Why? Why does it always have to be fucking me? That's why I'm so tired of being a good worker, because I don't get praised for being a good worker. I get pushed harder, and it makes me not want to do my job.
So something really interesting just happened to me like 5-10 minutes ago. And I feel like it's super important, at least to me, so I'm going to share it with you. I got to my last delivery. I'm super tired. As you can see, I'm sweaty and dirty. And I'm not even going to sleep in my house tonight. I'm sleeping over the road. So I'm already in a not amazing mood. When I get to the store, nothing is ready. I have to take care of everything. And I really had to bite my tongue because I hate confrontation. But today I was going to let him have it. So now I'm doing something that is not my job to be able to do what my job is. You know how that feels. Anyway, so as I'm struggling to fix this over here, this stranger walks by me. He stops, looks me up and down, and he says, "What are you doing? Stop that." He saw the look of confusion on my face, so he proceeded to explain. He said, I was overworked and undercompensated for 15 years, so I can spot an overworked employee from a mile away. You're over here huffing and puffing, doing something that is not your job, while the person who was supposed to do your job didn't do it. You two are going to get the same exact thing. Nothing. He said, look at me. I'm 66 and I look like I'm 80. Do not do this to your body. And then he left me with these words. You're young enough to have a life, so have it. And to be honest with you, he put me in a very good mood. I was not even going to make a video today. Again, I'm dirty, sweaty, tired, but he motivated me. And right now, all I want is the words of this wise, unappreciated man. The words that he told one person to reach millions. Stop overworking yourself. There's no benefit in it. And if you followed me for any amount of time, you will know that I take pride in hard work. But there's a difference in hard work and overwork. The sad part is that your employer is not going to know that difference. You do. Respect yourself and your body enough to know where to draw the line and do what you are being paid for. And if you have to wait for someone else to do their job for you to be able to do yours, you sit and you wait. Because guess what? You're not going to get paid a cent more for doing someone else's job.
Underpaid. Well, you can try to talk to your boss about wage hike, but good luck with that. But I think getting a second job would help with that.
Maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but I've always thought that salaried full-time jobs in the U.S. are the biggest scam. And I think other people are finally starting to realize the same thing. That's why everyone's quitting right now. If you have a salary, you get the same paycheck every month, but you never get paid more than that paycheck. even though most companies expect you to work many more hours than that 40 hours a week. I worked in the hotel industry. As an hourly employee, I made more money working less hours than some of the people with salaries in my hotel. And that's because overtime laws in our country only apply to hourly employees. You know those rules like if you work more than 8 hours in a day, you get paid time and a half. If you work more than 12 hours in a day, you get paid double time. None of those rules apply if you work on a salary. I was working as a banquet server for a number of years, so I thought I should really try to get a more professional job. I started helping out in the events department, thinking one day maybe I'll be an events manager. But when I started looking at those positions, I saw that event managers are required to work 50 hours a week. And that was a minimum. So they had to be there 10 hours a day, whatever was happening, whether there was events or not. On busy days, they would be there 12, 14 hours. But did they get paid overtime? Did they ever get paid double time? No, because they had a salary. Meanwhile, as a banquet server, I would clock in before the event, clock out after the event, don't have to think about it afterwards, don't have to check any emails, don't have to sit around at work waiting to clock out because there's nothing else to do. And I made about $50 an hour for every hour I was actually working. The salary system is just a way to get free labor. Because if every company really had to pay every employee for their time, they had to pay all of those overtime hours, a lot more people would have reasonable schedules. Here's a question. Why do you think that salaried employees are not covered by overtime laws? And why are we okay with that system? I've just never understood it. I don't think it's fair. Those of you who do work on salaries, have you ever taken your weekly paycheck and divided it by the number of hours you actually work and figured out what you're actually being paid per hour? Because I did that when I was a teacher for a few years, and that's why I quit.
It takes a lot to burn out your best employee, okay? That worker you depend on, that you go to for everything. The moment you burn them out and they realize it, that they're overworked and underpaid, I'm going to pray for that company, because that employee is going to turn into a brand new person. They're not even going to recognize themselves at the end of the day, because they're so tired, they're so overworked. They've been like doing most of the work by themselves and not saying anything, okay? Because they're trying to be a team player. They're trying to do the right thing in their head, right? But now they're tired, now they're exhausted, they haven't seen payoff. There's really nothing that's motivating them to continue to keep doing all that extra stuff. So now they're only going to do the bare minimum. They're going to do whatever is necessary for them to keep that job. And the managers are going to start to say, oh, something's going on, is everything okay? And it's like, yeah, everything's just dandy, okay? I'm doing my job now. I'm not doing the 12 jobs that I've been doing, okay? So for any company that has completely burned out an amazing worker, I'm going to continue to pray for you, because you just lost somebody really, really great, and you guys should have appreciated them when you realized what they were doing.
Are you overworked and underpaid? Well, you can always take PTO if you have some to take rest and ilk. I said before, you can also take a part-time job somewhere else for a little bit of money. Think about it. Thank you for watching. Until next time.